Welcome, Draft League, to the first of many podcasts. Each week, Jim and I hope to bring a guest captain and really just talk about the state of the league, how each team is doing, and anticipations for the next week. This week, Jim and I are joined by captain of the Employed Empire, Mr. Gabe Dunlop. Welcome on, Gabe.
Oh, thanks for having me on. I'm excited. Should be fun.
Absolutely, bro. We're really excited to have you on this week.
All right. Why don't we start off with an overview of all the teams that we saw last week?
All right, let's break it down team by team, starting with the one that had the first pick in the draft, and that is going to be Don't Gank Me, led by Captain Serendipidot. So this team, probably the strength is going to be on their top side of the map with first overall pick Name Not Cow and their jungler Kapatai. But overall, they have a pretty high potential, and I think that this team could be a sleeper. The only thing that they might have to look out for is they could potentially be a little bit gank prone. The junglers might look to take advantage of this.
I see what you did there by Don't Gank Me. Yeah, I definitely agree. The top side of the map, Name Not Cow, Kapatai, top jungle duo. It's a classic. Look for some dives on the strong side of the map there. I will say, I do know their AD carry Jim, the efficient AI, changed his name, whatever, I don't know.
Yep.
He's a very consistent player, but he does have a small champion pool. So teams may be able to abuse that, in my opinion.
He's a bit of a weak side warrior, I believe.
That's true. All right, I think we'll head on to the Dream Makers here next. I believe that they have a really strong mid jungle, this team. In 2 Corkis, 1 tower, and Rambo in the jungle. If I'm right, 2 Corkis, 1 tower has a really strong off-meta pool, off-meta champion pool, and also really underrated in terms of mid laners. Rambo,
Yeah.
just a really strong utility and carry jungler, has a lot of options that they can pick. But besides that, I don't think they found their identity anywhere else on the map. Just really a mid jungle game.
Their jungle, yeah.
Yeah, just mid jungle. Everywhere else is kind of weak. Haven't found their identity. Haven't been able to get anything done really. I don't know if their drafts have been fitting them or not, but yeah, this team I think has a lot of potential if they can find out what they need.
Yeah.
I agree.
I agree. I actually had their mid laner sub in for one of our scrims last night because Cry was deathly ill, and he played the
Oof.
games with us
Old
versus
man moment.
Moulders Gate, and he's pretty solid. I definitely think he's going to be the player to watch for this team.
All right.
Yeah. All right, should we move on to the Uncaged Monkeys? So I would say the Uncaged Monkeys are probably one of the most well-rounded teams that I looked at. Every single one of their players is on roll, and every single one of them have a strong champion pool and very similar in rank. I haven't watched them play, so maybe Jim Scott, you can chime in on this. But what do you guys think of their synergy? Like, how are they looking as a team?
I think it was a little rough. Their first game against Needlessly Large Rods, which we'll get into next, they got 2-0'd. Scott might have more feelings on this because he predicted them to win, but maybe he could take over.
Amanak, I believed in you. Come on, man.
Let him down.
But yeah, on a serious note, I think you guys have a really high cap. I have it down here as having you guys have as a really high cap, but you guys are a bit uncoordinated, in my opinion, and lack a game plan. Perhaps due to weak drafts and some lack of experience, but I do have you guys as a really high consistent team later on in the league. So I look forward to you guys playing.
For sure. And speaking of the Needlessly Large Rods, we're going to be moving to them next. This is one of the only teams that is returning. I mean, we have some of the same captains that have rebranded, but this is one of the only teams that's kept the same team as Season 1. And they've actually brought in the duo pairing from last season of Final Bastion Emerald in
Straight up
ADC
ripped
White
Final
Boy
Bastion.
and Cream Soda. So those are definitely the players to watch for me on this team. I think that they are definitely the lane that's going to be getting the most amount of resources.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, what do you guys think of Cream Soda right now? He hasn't touched the game in a while. This is a player that has gone to 700 LP Grandmaster, and then he said, "Hey, I'm done. I'm done with the game. Not going to play anymore." Now he's chilling and sitting pretty at Emerald 1. But I think he still got it. I think he still has the cream soda effect. I think he could do great things, but probably a little rusty for sure.
Rusty, maybe. Wash, I don't think so at all. I
Oh, okay,
caught a
okay.
little bit of the game, caught a couple scrims. He still got it. He is
You still got
nasty.
it?
Yeah. And
Mm.
little spoiler for later on. I think he deserves a little bit of recognition.
He is one of the UNC Charlotte GOATs, so I definitely believe in him to unrust.
All right, and with that, let's head to Kekys Ekkitties. And boy, do we have something to say about this team.
A little bit of a hot topic.
Yeah. Heal it up. First pick for Kekys Ekkitties has dropped out of the league, so the team has lost their footing a little bit here. Bit of a PSA, bit of an announcement. If anyone has a Master GM mid laner that would like to play in the league, please let me know. Please let Caitlin know. That team needs a mid laner. But on to analysis of the team, I think that team is really well rounded, honestly.
Yeah, no, they have a very well-rounded team.
Yeah, fives in the top lane, able to play utility, be consistent, and Breezy Bay offering carry potential there. Bot lane, Keki plays, Onset has played together forever, so they're able to hold it on their own against the best bot laners in the league, in my opinion, right? I don't think that's a bad team. I do not think they should drop out. I don't know what's going on with that whole discussion, but I think this team is one of the top contenders of the whole league, and I'd be sad if they left.
I think their
Yeah,
bot
no,
lane probably has like the most games played together out of any bot duo in the entire league.
Oh, for sure. Definitely a team that I think could win the entire league for sure. So I think the only thing is that a couple of their players, Breezy Bay and Fives, haven't played too much league, I don't think. Don't quote me on that, but I don't think they've been playing too much. So I think if they just put in some more games and get more comfortable and whatnot and keep scrimming, they have a very high potential and also likelihood to win the whole thing.
Yeah, I think right now they kind of have like two like dynamic duos on the bot side and the top side of the map, and I think if they're able to kind of just find that fifth person and kind of just combine those duos into a full like cohesive team, I think they're definitely still one of the top teams in the league.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But yeah, we'll move on to Final Bastion.
Alrighty, Final Bastion. Okay, yeah. Final Bastion. All right. These guys are actually a little scary. I'm not gonna lie. The first talking point is I want to talk about Mare because I feel like Mare is one of the most volatile players in the entire draft league. Like when he's hot, like he's untouchable. Like he's just gonna win you the game, and that's that. But like when he's cold, like he may lose you the game. Who knows? Like he doesn't stop going in, and obviously Velika's a little hit or miss. Really, the best way I could say hit or miss.
A little.
But
Just a tad.
Just a little. But honestly, an incredible team. And I will say I've played against Ramley many times. Rams, #Rams, and he's a very good laner. I think he has a strong sense of lane and presence in lane. So I think this is also another contender.
Big props coming from Dunlop here.
Yeah, another contending team to win it all. Like just a really incredible team across the board. So
For sure.
I mean, I think the weaknesses, like I painted out, maybe you guys can speak a little bit more about this, but it's hit or miss, right? If they don't do well, then they don't do well. But if they do really well, they're popping off and winning the game.
They are either the worst team in the league or the best team in the league.
Yeah, that's safe to say.
And that's all decided mostly on Velika's, secondary on Mare. So
Sure.
they got some gamers.
Yeah, surely if we flip the coin enough, we land in heads every time, yeah?
Yep.
I think so.
But yeah, on to the next team. We have Jungler's Fault with Captain Romuloid. So they
Also contender
played.
for the worst looking page ever.
Yes,
Oh my
this is
lord, what is that?
absolutely McDonald's hideous colors here. But yeah, week 1 they played Iron Golems, which we're gonna get to, but not exactly touted as one of the best teams in the league. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. But overall, they do have pretty solid laners in top and mid, with Romuloid as their captain and JYL in the mid lane, as well as a really consistent jungler. The season 1
Season 1
champion.
winner.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's super underrated as a jungler. He's diffed me in the jungle multiple times. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's really, really solid in the jungle. So I think this is a really solid all-around team. Their bot lane, I'm not too sure about, but they are both Emerald players that seem pretty solid. So I think this team is definitely going to be one of the top teams throughout the majority of the season.
Yeah. Well said.
Agreed. Any comments I have? Keep on paving those dirt roads and beating Iron Golems, I will say, is minus aura. So gotta catch up on that aura debt, guys.
100%. And speak of the devil.
Take us to the Iron Golem. So this team has a heart of iron. Every single one of them. To their benefit or to the detriment. Speaking of that detriment, they're kind of iron, literally.
Hmm.
No disrespect. No
I think we just leave it at
Also-
that.
also no expectations. And yeah.
They are the Iron Golem. Yes. All right.
All right. So moving on to No Thoughts. Click R.
Great name, by the way.
Yeah, great name. I like it, and I like the icon a lot. You know, you got the Malphite art into the Yasuo art. Pretty on brand for Mr. Wave Motion. Okay. One of the best Yasuo players in the draft league.
I believe that's also a self-portrait right there of him, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
no, that is.
Yep.
Now, is Wave Motion, is he playing? He's playing 80 carry though, right?
He is
Correct.
indeed.
Okay, gotcha. How's that been working out for him?
Let's just say my team kind of clapped them.
He's had good games and he's had bad games.
It's his champ pool. He's not that bad at ADC. He needs to play more champions in the pool.
I get you. Okay. Well, at least they have a very strong mid laner, Hanataro, who has a very wide pool. Very wide pool, but they mainly play Kiana, but can still play other champs. I would say they're pretty well-rounded. But they do have some key strength points with Wave Motion and Hanataro. And obviously, Connie is a rock. Okay. No debating that. Connie is a rock. And they get it done in the jungle.
I can see that with water balls literally in the top lane.
Well, I gotta save the best for last.
The rock, man. Oh, okay, hold on.
Because he's truly the rock. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
Best Malphite on the server. That's all I'll say. Best Malphite on the server. So, Yasuo, if you don't give him Yasuo or Malphite if you want to win.
Well, key insight there. Okay, I like it, Gabe.
Yep.
And
I will say,
yeah,
a very hands team. They have some really good hands players on there, and I don't think their macro is there yet. I've watched a couple scrims. I've watched a couple games. They are headless chickens running around.
Yeah.
They have wave motion shot calling, some other people shot calling, and none of it is really working for them right now. So yeah.
Yeah, I think they have the skill. They just gotta bring it together in a team environment. They'll be
Extremely
chilling.
high cap.
Yep. And on to my personal favorite team. I don't know why, but maybe it's because it's my team. We've got a bunch of old men on this team that are just rusty as hell. But overall, I think our team is pretty solid. I don't think we're the top team in the league, but I think as the season goes on, we're gonna scale. I think as me, Cry, Trent, we just play more games together. We've played on previous teams. I think the more and more we play and just develop with our team, I think we're gonna be a pretty strong team in the league.
I definitely agree. Like, you guys I will say, you guys may be a combined age of, up there. You know what I'm saying?
we're
Like
ancient.
we're using exponents now.
Yeah.
Before Christ. But anyway, I will say with old age comes a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
This isn't the first rodeo, and it's certainly not the last.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to pray that my mid laner does not die from the bubonic plague by Friday, and I think we're fine.
Yeah. But no, just very solid players that you guys have, who all hit very high peaks as well. So the ranks now they look very deceiving because we played you and you guys are a very strong team, and our ranks are higher, but you guys peaked just as high. So you guys all have that experience. So I think you guys also are a contestant to win it all.
Yeah, we
As long
definitely
as you
had
do not
a
die of old age, guys. I
absolutely.
believe.
We had a good scrim block against Gabe's team, so hopefully it'll all work out. But I'll move on to the next team.
Moulders Gate. Another returning team from last year's Niner Esports Draft League, a favorite last year. A bit of an upset, but moved on this year. I believe they are another team with a high cap, offering strengths on every side of the map in generic solo lane and DJ Chu in the AD carry position. Adonis, I believe he was actually the off meta
Yes.
mid lane player. Yeah, so I got that one wrong earlier, but his picks are crazy. He has so many off meta picks. I remember his Belveth mid being a terror last season and getting banned every single game. I will say a potential weakness is their low carry potential and agency across the map. They have some strong players, but no one that really stands out.
Mm-hmm.
You have DJ Chu bot lane, but he's not really a carry player. He's a really good utility player and really consistent with his macro. But no one that really says, "Give me the resources and I will carry the game."
Yeah.
Not one of those threats.
I might have some insight here. I actually scrimmed this team last night,
Oh.
and let's just say their jungler has a bit of an ego. He thought he diffed me in
Ooh.
game 3. Some of the most sinful ganks I've ever seen in my life. But it's okay. But yeah, like you said, I mean, they do have solid players all around. Adonis.
That start change is crazy.
Hey, I just gotta let them know, bro. Hey, we won 2-1. That's all I'm gonna say. But game 3, we threw.
Okay.
We were up
There it is.
8K and we threw.
Hello.
So
Daddy's
unlucky.
mad.
All right, 2-1.
Yep.
Scoreboard. 2-1.
Scoreboard. But no, they do have really solid players, and I think it's just a matter of how they utilize DJ Chu and Adonis, and see if they can put up some good matches.
Yeah. Well said.
All right, on to the next team. We have Lima Oscar Lima.
Lima Oscar Lima.
Yep, thank you,
Sorry, just had
Gabe.
to throw
Nope,
that in there. Yep.
it's all good. The Corky Fanatics here. I think all of us would agree that this is one of the top teams in the league for us,
Yeah.
as we're gonna
For sure.
get to later. But they definitely have a lot of strong players, notably their jungle mid, jungle no mechanics, and fat mage player. Great name, by the way.
Yep.
They have season 1 finalist Namato in the top lane, and the dynamic duo of the Cozies in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, this team on paper looks like the employed empire. It looks like my
That's
team,
what we're comparing
but
with. Okay.
but it just looks better. Okay, I have to be honest. Their mid and jungle are higher rank, higher LP than myself and my jungler. They have a bot lane with already very strong synergy with the two cozies. And to top it all off, they got Namato, also known as Gabe. Okay, we got an imposter in the building.
Okay.
Gabe recognizes Gabe. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Gabe recognizes Gabe, and that is, I will say, for a lot of these teams, I'm contented to win it all. This is at the top, I'd say. What do you guys think? This team's pretty
This
well-rounded
team
and
has it all.
just
It just actually has it all.
they also have probably very good mental and whatnot. I haven't met Fat Mage player or Jungle No Mechanics, but I know they're bot lane and topper.
I
Very
played a
mentally
game
strong.
against him in the Combine, and this dude played Zillion, and he was just Thanos. So that was my
Yeah.
only experience with him, but I definitely think this team is top 3, uncontested.
Yeah,
Great.
for sure.
And speaking of top 3 over here, Gabe.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Hello.
Bring it over to the employed empire. Every single one of my players is employed. Okay, except for one. So one of my players actually goes to school. But yeah, so this is my team. We really cultivate a culture of just opportunity. That's what we do here at the employed empire.
The
And
corporate empire.
no, but on a real note though, I will say our strongest attribute is our mental. We came in to also just have a very good time. Everyone's really mentally tenacious and kind. I got the streamer team, and also a little thing is if we win, I'm donating all of my winnings to my players because they're not just my players; they're my employees.
Gabe.
Yep.
W
So
boss.
very, very strong team. I'm very confident in my team. The only thing is
like $1 an hour.
yeah, because we're all employed, we don't really have the best schedule. So we could really only scrim 1 to 0 times a week, and another player is actually swapping jobs. So we're getting a little shaky in the availability. And also another big weakness is that we might get stream sniped.
Unlucky.
Yeah. If you guys win
Unlucky.
$100, make sure you don't spend it all in one place, guys.
True.
Gotta put that delay on.
Yeah, I always tell them, I'm like, you gotta put the delay on,
Y'all got
please.
delay, or are we just
Yeah, you got delay. Like, and they're always like, "Oh, I forgot. Thank you." I'm like, all right, man.
All right.
All right, and on to the zoo.
The zoo.
Where do I start with this team? They're animals. This team is full of animals. Everywhere you look, we got Ken, who changed his name to ECDI, also known as XD.
Nice.
Jay from Day 7, Zeljus, Season 1 winner as well, and Cowgirl Meow. And how do you pronounce that, Jay?
Ex-captain.
Ex-captain, right. Just animals everywhere. I've watched a lot of these, watched a lot of their games, some scrims. They just fight. They just fight you on everything. But Zeljus, notably, is still the same. He's the backbone of the team, as always, to the Freak Squad. And when Ken activates his Freak mode, Zeljus is always there behind him to make sure that there's a net behind him, right?
It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah,
We
it
don't
just
want to
picks
show it on this podcast.
picks his
Yeah.
Xerath, picks some mages, and keeps the game in control as best as he can.
Yeah. Can I be honest here? It's scary not only to face Ken's team, the zoo, but it's scary to be on his team because the things Ken will do, he'll just leave his lane and he'll be like, all right, like I'm taking your lane now. And he'll just be mid lane. He'll be top lane. And that's a little scary to just, have someone just take your lane like that. Very, very alpha of Ken to be doing this to his players.
Watching Game 3 reminded me of Animal Farm. Modern day, if you know what I mean.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Ken is just sending his strongest soldiers everywhere to fight his battles.
If they lose a game, he'll just swap roles. He does not care, bro.
Yeah.
He sent poor Zeljus to face the Thanos misfortune that he created bot lane.
This is like where it's an advantage to actually know Ken, because if you don't, you'll be thrown off. But if you know him, you'll be like, all right, some shenanigans are going to happen this game, and I just need to watch out for it.
Yeah, and we'll still die level 1 to it.
Okay. Well, we didn't have to say that. Moving on.
Moving right along to Waters.
Waters.
Reminder, quick water break, everyone.
Yep, everybody stay hydrated.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Yeah, so we got the Waters. We got their infamous Cap NDD 1v9 player who actually egoed me. Okay. He said
Uh-oh.
I said challenger players are good. He said, listen, challenger players aren't good. I said, okay. So this guy's got it in the bag. Okay. He's got 5 excellent, strong players by his side, 4 strong players by his side to win and succeed. One of the strongest junglers, I'd say like top 3 junglers in the league, has an incredible champion pool and just a very, very well-rounded champion pool to play many different styles. But they also got a very strong mid laner who plays mainly melee mages and assassins. So definitely something to look out for. More like a Chinese style kind of team. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
High tempo. So
Speaking of Chinese, we got a Chinese player here who's not
Jim,
Chinese.
can you pronounce that?
I would rather not. I do know how to say it. I don't know how to say
No,
it, guys.
and we
I'm gonna be
believe you.
honest. But no, this guy is actually a friend of mine, and he's just a clown. I'll be honest. This guy is just the
Really? I
definition
had
of
him
a
down as a
clown.
good weak side top laner, Jim. You don't think so?
No, he's quite the opposite of a weak side top laner.
Oh
This
wow.
guy has never heard of a ward in his life, actually.
Oh,
So he just pushes waves. He fights in lane. He does not think about where the jungler is, and that'll either win or lose you the game. So
another
that is my
Colin.
insight there. Another Colin 2.0.
They're all the same, man. These top laners.
Yep. Some things never change. Alrighty, well with that, let's move to the final team. Unfortunately, our friend Francisco got the last pick in the draft, and let's be honest, he just picked some horse shit of a team. He just salvaged
Yeah.
whatever he could at the end. He picked 5 bottom laners. He made a trade with Gabe's team. I mean, this team is not looking great, I'll be honest with you. From a friend to a friend, it's not looking good. But they're off meta
Definitely not
enjoyers.
up there.
They
On
might catch you off guard with a couple picks of theirs. But at the end of the day, it's going to be interesting with Francisco playing Blitzcrank support on this team. I'll be honest.
We've all seen the clip.
Yes. Lads, anything else to add here?
No,
They
I
are
mean,
they are not up there on the trade grades. I will say that.
No. No, they're not.
yeah. I'm lost for words. They have potential.
So
They-
potential to what, Gabe? Let's
They have potential to make some of the most entertaining League of Legends that
There you
this
go.
draft league has ever seen.
Nice.
I'll leave it at
yeah.
that.
Yeah, Jim, I do agree. I have been in their calls a little bit. They are practicing some devious stuff in the bot lane.
They might burn down the kitchen.
They might just burn it down. I will not spoil any of it. Check the match history. They might have it there. Don't know. But keep an eye out for that. Have some fun against this team. And pat your stats. Pat your stats.
Yep. Well, that's going to do it for all the teams. We are going to shift over into a recap of the preseason matches that just ended. We had 2 rescheduled matches, but now all of those are complete. So maybe Scott, you want to start it off here?
Yeah, honestly, pretty strong showings for most teams, especially for a preseason week, right?
Yeah.
I started out 6-0 on my predictions, even with the exact game amounts. So I was going for the 8-0, the mythical 8-0. But hey, some of you guys let me down.
Uh-oh. You want to
Who
name
was
any
it?
names here?
Who was it? Yo, Laminak. Come on, bro. Yeah, you're in my DM. Like, you believe in me, and then you do this to me, man. Come on now.
Yeah, but
I
you
had
didn't
faith,
believe in
and
Gabe, though. Our friend Gabe on the desk here. Like, this is
I
crazy.
believed in Gabe.
I get it. Listen, I
Gabe is
understand.
gonna perform regardless, but this Ken guy,
He's a freak.
he
The wild
picks
card.
Twitch, and we know what his Twitch is like.
Yeah.
We've seen that one before.
Unlucky, honestly.
And so I think he just wanted me to lose. And you know what? I respect it. Preseason match, go have some fun. Go release your inner animal a little bit. So yeah, honestly, I will say that was the most entertaining match though, in my opinion.
Yes.
The Empire versus the Zoo. was really fun to watch.
Yeah, we had the pleasure of casting that. That was
Besides game 2.
well, yeah, we don't talk about that.
Game 2 is a snooze fest, but kind of peer pressured our players in the Seraphine. But we won't do that
Warriors.
again. So we will not do that again.
But yeah, other than that, I think the first match of the week was also pretty good. Final Bastion and Kekys Ekkitties. That
I'm
was
not gonna lie, this one surprised me.
yeah, me as well. I had Kekys' team winning.
Yeah. What do you think is like the secret from like Final Bastion to win that game? Like why? Because I feel like on paper, Kekys Ekkitties are just way ahead. Like I think everybody had them at the top, right? So it's just kind of a surprise. I don't know. What do you think?
I think their supporting. I think he was kind of the X factor that series. He was like keeping everything pretty stable. He had a really solid Alistar showing. This dude built Dark Seal, had 10 stacks at like 10 minutes. He kind of just 1v9 that game. Mare stepped up, and I think overall, Rams was kind of getting flame horizoned in the mid lane. He was down like 100 CS to a Jace as a Kali, which I mean I guess is a rough matchup for sure. But the rest of the games he held pretty strong, and I think overall they just played better as a team.
I think so too, and also I think I gave them a lot of credit for their draft.
That's true. I do think they drafted pretty well in that series.
Yeah, draft was good, and also just like a very smart pick. Because Rams would always pick, like he's facing what, like a Grandmaster player. He always picking champs that can either neutralize the lane. Actually, most of the time he's just picking champs that can neutralize the lane, like Vex and LeBlanc and whatnot.
Yeah,
it's just very smart draft from Final Bastion.
Alrighty, is that it for the preseason recap? Any other thoughts or feelings?
I think I'm good too. Yeah.
Alrighty, well let's roll right into the power rankings that we have here for week 1. So this is not, last season or last week's rankings, but this is our power rankings going into week 1. So maybe Scott, you're the first one here on the list. Maybe you want to walk us through some of your picks.
Yeah, of course. So I've always been a fan of Lima Oscar Lemur, right? I've had them, I think I won the past power rankings. I'm not too sure.
I believe you did,
But
yeah.
yeah, watching Gabe's team play the other week against or this week against the Zoo, they really impressed me. When they have their draft down, when they have the game plans made, they showed that they're not just a content team. And they're up there, you know. I think everyone else has them pretty high too, but I have them as number 1. The Zoo went up as well, but I already expected this. They're a good team. They have a good captain, season 1 winner of Draft League. They have Zeldris, strength everywhere, right? But they suffer the same fate as Final Bastion, or the same flaw as Final Bastion in they'll either lose really hard or win very hard, right? We've seen that against the Empire. Anything else stand out for me? We all have the same like 4 bottom
4,
team.
yeah.
But let's see if I have any outliers. Waters. I do think Waters is really good. I wasn't able to watch their match personally, but the result was pretty expected, to be honest. I do have them over low gups though, Jim. What do you think about that?
I mean, obviously I'm not gonna like that, but no, I think in my week 1 I had them above us as well. I think they're probably the closest team in my eyes to our team in terms of like pretty similar type of style. Like they have a solid jungler mid combo, and then they're just like stable all around the map. So yeah, I'm not opposed to them being higher than us. But I definitely agree with some of your top picks, like the Employed Empire. Obviously, we played them in a scrim block. I was actually super impressed with Bone Void. I thought he was just gonna be a OTP Kha'Zix player. He can play other junglers way better than I anticipated. So, want to give a shout out to him. He gapped me in that scrim. So,
Okay. Big props, big props.
yes, sir. And Final Bastion moved up the list for me as well. I had Kekys Ekkitties up higher, but because of the recent drama, I had to. They don't have a mid laner right now, so I had to drop them down a little bit. And Final Bastion's win over them was just really impressive to me, so I had to move them up the list. I still think Lima Oscar Lima is really solid, and all the other teams below, I think definitely we just have to wait and see. I think once more weeks play out and more matches are played, we'll have a bigger sample size and we can go from there.
Yeah, I
Nice.
definitely agree. There's a lot to
Yeah.
see from all of these teams.
Yeah.
It's only been 1 week. And
I agree.
Gabe, why don't you walk us through
Yeah,
your
no, I mean, I think
rankings?
all of our power rankings are pretty similar in nature. I did put Lima Oscar Lima at the top. Now, I didn't get a chance to play them or scrim them at all, but just looking down on paper, they just have a very solid team. And so that's why I put them at number 1. And then I put the Employed Empire. Let's go Employed Empire. And then I put Final Bastion above the Zoo. Because they beat the Kekys Ekkitties, and I thought those were the projected top team, and they beat them. And then I put the Zoo and Lil Gups. Now I think the Zoo and Lil Gups are on the same level. So it really just depends on the day. I think if Ken gets a little too freaky, then the Lil Gups will take it. But if Ken can contain himself, maybe the Zoo will take it.
Yeah.
So
I could see that.
it's just a huge toss up, and then I put Kekys Ekkitties right under that because they don't have a mid laner right now, so it's just kind of unknown what's going to happen there, and then the rest kind of just fall into place. I need a little bit more information. It looks like Jim and I have the same exact list from Moulders Gate down. So
yeah, bro copied my
Yeah.
homework.
I did. I did. I couldn't figure those out in time. I just need more info.
Hey,
Yeah.
respect, bro.
Better
You're
than
going with
Ken's
the top
ChatGPT.
analyst here.
Yeah.
I do agree though. I think the top 5 potentially could be a toss-up, depending on day to day. Like who woke up better, who woke up on the right side of the bed, who decided to get a little bit
Yeah.
more work done.
True.
Could any of
And
them could just be the best team, and depending on the day.
yeah. So actually, when I faced the Zoo that previous night, I got a 91% sleep score, the highest I've ever gotten.
Wow.
And I think, sleep is important for all of you watching at home. Just make sure you schedule your matches a little bit
I do not
earlier
support this message.
so that the Employed Empire can play. Yeah.
Yeah, our team is
get
also
your sleep.
old, so our bedtime is like 9 p.m. So
Thank you.
We share the same
Thank you,
sentiment here.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Yep.
It's getting close to my bedtime right now.
Good night. But yeah, that's probably gonna wrap it up. And you have anything else, Scott, or is that good for the power rankings?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, now let's transition into a little bit more lighthearted topic. Just kind of want to get your guys' take on which group you think is stronger.
Opinion right
Because-
off the bat.
Yep.
Group B is Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, so you have said this previously, and
I
I
did.
don't
I stand by it.
understand how they can be Mickey Mouse.
Wait, Mickey Mouse.
So they have the Iron Golems, respectable, and the
They're
5
top
bottoms.
heavy and bottom heavy though. Like the bottom 3 teams
That's
are there,
true.
and like some of the top 4 teams are there.
You just need to be. You already have 2. Okay, this is a little bit, presuming a little bit, but
Sure.
if
sure.
you can say those 2 teams are at the bottom, you just have to be, at the top. Winning is good. Just win.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
If you get 2 free wins, each team, gets their +2. Maybe. Right? I think top 4 teams make it to playoffs here. So who do you see making it to playoffs in this group?
Is it top 4
Jim, yeah.
confirmed?
Yeah, it's gonna be top 4.
Okay. Top 4 in Group A is gonna be the Employed Empire. It's
Okay.
going to be probably Waters. And probably Jungler's Fault and Kekys Ekkitties if they stay in the league. Hopefully.
Wow, leaving out Moulders Gate and no thoughts, click R.
Yeah, I've played
Yep,
against
yeah,
both
all
those
of those
teams
teams.
and I've beat both of them, so I'm biased.
Ooh,
Respectfully, of course.
See, it's hard to say, right?
dang,
This is
humble.
all the teams are pretty close in Group A.
Yeah, no, definitely very close
Group
group for
A is a
sure.
massive toss-up. I can't say for sure. I mean, Group B, I'm already saying like, I think those two at the bottom. No disrespect, just how some things planned out. But um, yeah, my top four for Group A would be Employed Empire number 1, Waters number 2. It's hard. Maybe Junglers and then No Dot Click R.
Really?
It's pretty similar to yours. Honestly, I've just
Mm,
replaced the Ekkitties, right? I believe.
Yeah, yeah. I think Moulders Gate is better than Ekkitties or Wave Motion's team, but that's just my opinion.
They're just all really good.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I mean they
I
are
couldn't
close. I'll
yeah,
pick
give you
them
that.
now.
I'll give you that.
it's tough. It's very tough. I don't even have an answer.
Let's take a look at Group B though and rate the top four. Gabe, what do you think?
Top four. I mean, definitely, I will say Lil Gups and the Zoo are making it out, and then Final Bastion, and then I guess it's really just a toss-up. Actually, no, it's not a toss-up. I think it's the Zoo, Lima Oscar Lima, Lil Gups, and Final Bastion. I think
Yeah.
it's pretty
I think
solid.
you're crazy if you have any other top four. God, do you have a top
Yeah,
four? It's different?
no difference here.
Perfect. So you're not crazy. Cool.
All right, so let me change that.
5 bottoms. Iron Gold.
Yep, nice. The
My
zoo.
bottom's number 1 seed.
Ooh.
All right, so I think we share opinions there.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely see your point though. I think Group A, the teams that are fighting for like that 4th playoff spot are a lot closer than the teams, and this is all projections, right? This is just what we're predicting. We could be wrong, but
Off of a preseason match, right? We don't
based
have
on our
anything.
power rankings and preseason matches, I do agree that it is more clear cut who's going to make playoffs for Group B. Back. Just to summarize the points there. But yeah, you want to move into players of the week, Scott?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, player of the week. Let me start from top to jungle. I have one in every single role. And starting off top lane, we have a banger. No one. I don't have anyone for top lane.
Top
I
laners.
watched almost every single match, and every single top laner looked the same. Now that is no disrespect to any top laner. That is nothing against any top laner. I just need to see something else, you know. Uh, I can't keep glazing Velikaz. If Velikaz is doing the best, there's something wrong,
Yeah,
you know.
we can't put freak
Uh,
mode at the top.
right. So, all right, to all my top laners out there, show me performance. Come on, I'll put you up here.
Show us something,
Uh,
please.
yeah, show us something. And for jungle, we spoke on his team before earlier. High expectations for him. Jungle, no mechanics. His really strong champ pool, high agency, and insane map presence. His kill participation in every single game, look at that, is 70% every single game. 70 plus with really good KDAs. This guy is everywhere against Moulders Gate, right?
Yep,
Really
it's
strong
Moulders
start.
Gate.
So looking out for him there. And for mid lane, we have Mr. Dunlop here himself. Single-handedly ruined my predictions other than Ken maybe match fixing, but had an insane carry performance on Azir. That Azir was so commanding that game. How did you feel on that game?
Dude, I felt very good. I gotta give it up for the team. Like they are just extremely supportive, and honestly, everybody's on the same page. And so when that happens, it just allows me to just focus on my game and be able to play the best that I can.
Yeah, I think at that one point of the game, one certain point, did you call people mid and just say just to fight around you? Because you called people mid and you just started fighting at mid tower, took that and just kept winning fights from there on.
A little bit of a content schedule here. We We already made an announcement about this, but just gonna go over it again on the podcast so anyone who didn't see it can hear it here. We are planning to have weekly podcasts coming out every Sunday. This week it's probably going to be a little different, but our plan is to have power rankings come out Tuesdays. We're going to release the podcasts on Wednesdays. We're going to have match predictions released on Thursday nights, and matches will begin at 7 p.m. on Fridays. So we
Yeah,
have
lots of
4
content
days of
coming your way.
content. Yeah,
I love content.
me too, man. But yeah,
All right. Signing out.
Signing out. Thanks for having me on, guys.
absolutely. Thanks for
course.
joining us, Gabe. We appreciate your time.
Yep.